Right, the message is to take back life. That's coming from Norway's health minister as that country begins to lift its COVID restrictions. Other European countries are also taking similar steps to get back to normal. We've talked about England. They're no longer requiring mask or vaccine passports for public spaces. The work from home order has been lifted there. Could this be a sign that the never-ending pandemic is actually coming to an end? Is it time for the U.S. to follow the lead of these other countries? Let's welcome in now host of the Rubin Report, Dave Rubin. His next book, Don't Burn This Country, comes out in April, and I'll keep promoting it until April actually gets here. But Dave, great to see you. And, you know, if we were going to see a thermonuclear war with Russia, maybe that has something to do with these countries ending the restrictions. If we're going to go down in flames, let's go ahead and lift the restrictions and enjoy our lives. Of course, I kid. But in all seriousness, you see Norway, other countries, England, realizing it's time to get on with our lives.
You know, John, I hadn't put that together, that perhaps the lifting of restrictions was directly related to World War III. But it would be nice if there's going to be this massive war in Eastern Europe, that we would have a few weeks to go out to restaurants, go out to bars, hang out with people, dance halls, pool clubs, whatever the young people are doing these days. But seriously, it is time to end all of the restrictions, period. Individuals should be allowed to make whatever choices they want to make relative to if you want to get 87 boosters, if you want a triple mask, if you never want to go outside, if you want to work remotely forever. You should make whatever choice is right for you, your family, you know, talk to your doctor, etc. But the day of these governments, these states deciding how we all should live, I think is long past gone. And John, as you know, I moved down here to Florida where, in essence, COVID is over. That doesn't mean that COVID doesn't exist. You still see some people wearing masks, but Ron DeSantis has left it up to the people. That's very different from where I left, which was Los Angeles, which, as you know, Mayor Eric Garcetti was at the Rams game on Sunday without a mask. He claims that he holds his breath when he takes pictures with people. And Newsom was there, too. I mean, these people are ridiculous, but the point is, you have to now be responsible for your life. The policies have failed at virtually every level. It is time to move on.
I want to play Garcetti's excuse just because it's so ridiculous. Here he is.
And when people ask for a photograph, I hold my breath and I put it here and people could see that. There's a 0% chance of infection from that.
Dave, I know now somebody is on a mission to try and take a picture with Eric Garcetti, and you make sure the picture lasts a long time, like 45 seconds. So he has to hold his breath, take the picture. I mean, come on. Who's worse, in your opinion? I mean, because we already played the awful excuse from Gavin Newsom. Who is worse, Gavin Newsom or Eric Garcetti?
John, I was trying to hold my breath for your whole diatribe there. Geez, who's worse? I mean, these people are so profoundly inauthentic. They cannot say anything true. They do not care about their citizens. He's a liar that what he does is hold his breath when he takes pictures. And if you really believe the pandemic was as deadly and whatever else as they're telling us, you wouldn't even accept that as a rational way to go about your health. But also the idea that you would hold your breath. So someone comes up to you, hey, Mr. Mayor, can I take a picture with you? You're doing a really great job in Los Angeles. First off, that person can't even exist. But the person comes up to him and says that. Well, now you've just inhaled all of their germs. These people are ridiculous. Gavin Newsom is a chronic liar and an authoritarian, and I want nothing to do with them. And John, I made a statement on my show that going forward, if I gratuitously mention California, I have to put $5 into a little kitty. And at the end of the year, I'm going to give thousands of dollars away to somebody, to one person, to move to Florida. I'll just give them thousands of bucks. And since I did it on John Bachman's show, I'm going to throw in another $5 for this appearance right now.
I feel somewhat responsible. I will chip in $5 because we feel the need to ask you about these folks. And I know you tried to
move it down, John,
thousands of miles away from them, but I'll do my best not to bring it up because I also
want for $5. All right.
I also want to talk about what's going on in Canada with Justin Trudeau and these truckers. He is locked down in isolation because of a positive COVID test. I know these truckers would love to get face to face with Justin Trudeau. Just to plead with him on their plight. Never going to happen, though. I mean, what is your take on all this, and what happens when this is all said and done?
Well, my take on all of this is that if you have pushed Canadians, of all people, if you've pushed Canadians to have to occupy the Capitol, if you've pushed, 50,000 plus truckers and millions of their supporters to go out in Ottawa when it's -20 out to protest for freedom and just so that they can go to work and go to school and all of those things, then you've really done something wrong, Justin Trudeau. But Trudeau, who much like Eric Garcetti and Gavin Newsom, he is clinically incapable of saying something true. So what did he do? He tweeted out yesterday that this was a group of Islamophobes and anti-Semites and homophobes, and there were a couple other phobes in there. And the truth is that Justin Trudeau is a freedomophobe. He is afraid of people living their lives as they see fit. I hope this is the beginning of the end of the Trudeau administration. Canada has said enough is enough. And by the way, it's working. They're doing this peacefully and it's working. The premier of Alberta, the Alberta province, he now is saying we're going to scale back on some of this stuff. So it's only because the individuals, the people, the truckers, their supporters took their lives into their own hands that the government is finally going, oh, forgot we work for you.
Right. And I will confirm this. We had Christy Clark on. We're going to have her on again. She is a native Canadian, and she was our source. I don't want to generalize and say all Canadians are one thing or not, but she says Canadians in general typically tend to roll over and do what the government tells them, and this is the exception to that rule, and it's great to see them standing up. The other thing, too, you talked about how Justin Trudeau has cast this as a hateful protest. I mean, come on. Nobody's buying that. Nobody is buying that. And eventually, Justin Trudeau is going to have to own up to it.
Well, look, I mean, we've been showing videos on my show. I'm sure you guys are showing some of them as well, where the protesters are not only protesting peacefully, they're dancing to Bob Marley music. They're cleaning up after themselves. They're shoveling snow. They're passing out food to each other. It's the reverse of what we've been shown in the Western world protests are like over the last 2 years, where we had Antifa and BLM burning down cities, screaming racist stuff, attacking police officers, and the litany of things that we've all seen for 2 years. This is a Western protest done right. Look at those people. And Justin Trudeau dares. He has the gall to look at those people and say, they're out there because they're irrationally afraid of trans people. That's really what he is saying. I mean, I'm not making
Yes.
it up. Find the tweet for yourself. Yeah. They have an irrational fear of trans people. That's why they're out there. Yeah. Okay, buddy.
It's just a fringe element, according to Justin Trudeau, so they're shutting the whole thing down. I love that people are saying, just 2 weeks to flatten the curve here with this protest, the shutdown in Ottawa. Just 2 weeks. That's all they're asking from Justin Trudeau.
It might just be 2 weeks to flatten Justin Trudeau. We'll find out.
We hope not. You mean rhetorically speaking, of course. Rhetorically. Yes,
that
obviously.
Was a metaphor, not, I don't want him to be crushed in some sort of machine. That was purely a metaphor for his career, which should be coming to an end. The people have had enough.
It's a perfect metaphor, Dave. I love it. I just wanted to be clear, so we don't get shut down. Dave Rubin, great to see you.
Good seeing you.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about politics instead of nonstop yelling, check out our politics playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, watch our full episode playlist all right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.